Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Topping our newscast, the Division of Personnel went before the Senate Finance Committee on Tuesday to defend their 2016 budget. Acting Personnel Director Milton Potter led his staff as they testified on the issues currently being faced by the division. News 2's April Knight has that story.
Acting Director Milton Potter says the Division of Personnel needs $2.93 million this year to be able to take care of issues surrounding government employees. One of them is handling the $157 million insurance coverage that the government pays for some 30,000 people. The hefty annual cost of insurance is driving personnel to ramp up its wellness program.
Effort and time and energy behind having a top-notch wellness program.
Yeah, because one of the benefits is the fact that at one point we have, like you said, a top-notch wellness program, our costs will go down.
Absolutely.
According to personnel officials, it's active employees and not retirees that are racking up insurance costs for the government. They also said that they cannot have an internal mechanism for checking the validity of these insurance claims without violating HIPAA confidentiality laws.
You clearly said that there have been instances in which somebody has an amputation on the bill and there's no amputation that was done, correct?
Correct, but they brought that bill into my office.
Okay,
that's
so
how we knew.
You have to know then that there is problem in terms of billing, correct?
It wasn't a problem in billing, it's fraud.
There's talk of looking at self-funding insurance as a way of saving money, but this isn't looking like a good option according to personnel officials.
Financial risk of taking on such a plan, the administrative risk, who's going to oversee this plan, and the solvency of the plan. Is it going to last?
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Now, later the afternoon, the Department of Property and Procurement also testified before the Senate on their 2016 budget of the $3.18 million. Residents who may still have claims against American Alliance Insurance Company, Island National Insurance Company, and Phoenix Fire and Marine Insurance Company are urged to contact the Lieutenant Governor's office. The agency is in the final phase of liquidating the assets of the three companies, and claims have to be filed by July 13th. Claimants can file for outstanding losses suffered, unearned premiums, or any other valid claims that have supporting proof or evidence in order to receive payments. All questions should be directed to the Lieutenant Governor's office in each district. The Red Point Waste Treatment Plant behind the Sierra King Airport got a new name on Tuesday. Government dignitaries attended to honor the person they called the godfather of public health, Pedrito Augustus Francois, whose many personal and professional accomplishments became the driving force in bringing VI waste management closer to the 21st century. Mr. Francois graciously shared some of his reasons for advancing waste management in the VI.
All the sewage was discharged to narrow body of water, and I could tell what would happen as time went on. So I decided to create a program for sewage all the Virgin Islands.
I am extremely proud to name this facility in honor of Mr. Pedrito Augustus Francois, the godfather of public health, who has given us so much of his life for the betterment of the people of the Virgin Islands. We take our hats off to you, Mr. Francois, and give you thanks.
What a great honor. Well, a fire at the Anguilla landfill kept firefighters busy for about 5 hours. At approximately 9:35 a.m., the Grove Place Fire Station and the Frederiksted Fire Stations were dispatched to the Anguilla landfill. Firefighters found several areas at the top of the landfill that were emitting smoke, along with the crews from A9 Enterprises using approximately 1,000 gallons of water, 10,000 gallons rather. The fire was extinguished at approximately 2:30 p.m. and a safety check of the area was completed. At 3:30 a.m., all units and crews returned to their respective stations. There was no disturbance to the operations at the Henry E. Rolson Airport. Gallows Bay Port consulting study is now complete, and now a town hall meeting is set for June 25th to seek community input. The Virgin Islands Port Authority has contracted with the engineering and planning firm CDR Maguire to prepare concept plans for revitalization of its Gallows Bay facilities. Now, Gallows Bay residents have been concerned about noise and the large volume of, they say, all forms of highly flammable and combustible fuel being transported and stored. All are invited to attend that meeting on Thursday, June 25th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. in the passenger terminal building at the Mount Welcome Road. Several Port Authority senior staff members will be present, as well as several senior CDR McGuire consultants and engineers. 2 St. John's students have gained entry into the working world thanks to a partnership between Senator-at-Large Armando Rocky Lindberg and the VI Hotel and Tourism Association. Senator Lindberg said it's important that we offer summer jobs and internships in order to both teach young people about the working world and expose them to the various opportunities. The students selected demonstrated an interest in working in hospitality, and they are 17-year-old Eudora Ken graduate Araya Athanasi, and she's looking forward to working in the guest services department at Westin Resort. Now, joining her in the working world is 16-year-old Larisma Maduro, a Gift Hill School junior. Larisma will be working in the accounting department at Keneal Bay Resort. The board of the West Indian Company Limited, WICO, during its June 9 meeting, revealed a cruise ship schedule with projected arrival figures for both the WICO dock and the Austin Bay Monsanto Pier. A total of 540 ships, they say, will be calling on St. Thomas during the 2015-2016 season, which is October 1st, 2015 through September 30th, 2016. More than 1.737 million passengers are expected, which is up slightly. Although the 2014-2015 season, they say, saw 24 more ships than the projected 2015-2016 numbers. 3 new megaships are scheduled to make maiden calls: the Norwegian Escape, Royal Caribbean, Anthem of the Seas, and Carnival Magic. Also, MSC Cruise Lines returns to St. Thomas with 8 expected calls. In other news, Acting Attorney General James Carroll III announced today the conviction of Ariel Devon Fred of several felony charges, including murder in the first degree, assault in the first degree, and kidnapping for robbery. You may remember on October 26, 2008, Fred and his accomplice caught a ride with attorney Gabriel Lerner at the Cassie Hill intersection, and they told Lerner they were going to Red Hook. Lerner was on his way to Linquist Beach for a Bible study when Fred robbed him of his wallet at gunpoint and forced him into the trunk of his car. Fred then drove Lerner to Bordeaux and took him down an abandoned dirt trail and shot him to death. Police Chief Rodney Carrard at the time immediately issued an all-points bulletin on Lerner's vehicle, which was subsequently found by the police 2 days later in a high-speed chase that ended in scot-free and ultimately led to the arrest of Fred and his accomplice. Health officials and volunteers for the CDC have been canvassing the territory for the last week to gather information about chikungunya. On St. Croix, they've completed more than 250 households, close to the goal they've set for the Big Island. NEWS2's Erica Parsons has more on what they're trying to do.
I either had chikungunya or dengue.
Department of Health officials and doctoral students working with the CDC spent the day visiting homes to collect data about chikungunya.
We're trying to find out more about how chikungunya has affected the community here.
The VI had 230 confirmed cases of the mosquito-borne illness last year, but suspected more than 1,000 cases. Using tax records, officials collected a random sampling of homes to survey. Volunteers for the project asked residents specific questions about chikungunya.
We're asking about whether people have had fever and joint pain in the last 12 months, and whether they've been to a doctor or to the hospital, and whether they've been tested or not. We're also asking about household characteristics, such as whether people leave their windows open, if they have screens, if they empty any standing water that's outside.
The volunteers don't know if the house they've selected experienced chikungunya, but those willing to participate in the survey will get a free test if they want it. Health experts are also drawing blood to test for chikungunya during the survey.
We use a sterile butterfly needle, and we also use vacuutiners so that the blood comes out quickly and stuff like that. And it's like less than a half a teaspoon of blood. And it's important because then we take it and we spin it down and they do what we call sero testing to see what's there and stuff like that. That's the only thing we're doing is testing it. That's it. But one specific thing for chikungunya.
The goal for the project is to visit 300 homes on St. Croix, 350 on St. Thomas, and 10 on St. John. Erica Parsons, News 2.
Now, the site visits began June 8th on all 3 islands and should wrap up on June 22nd. The confidential results for the blood tests will be mailed back to the residents in about 2 months. Turn our attention overseas. Rachel Dolezal, the civil rights activist whose identity touched off a contentious national debate on race, responded to critics on Tuesday, saying she identifies as a black person. The former president of the NAACP's Spokane chapter accused of lying about her race, an issue compounded by her biological parents, both white, calling her out on the issue. According to Dolezal, the issue was very complicated and much more than simply being true or false. Meanwhile, in other news, Donald Trump finally took the plunge. The real estate mogul and TV reality star launched his presidential campaign Tuesday. Trump flaunted his wealth during the announcement and said his successful business career not only qualified him to be president, it also allows him to rid himself of the special interests that he said control American politics. Keeping our eye on the economy, here's the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. As we can see, everything up. The Dow, 113, NASDAQ, 25, S&P 500, 11. Coming up on News 2, how this woman ended up losing $1 million in a scam that's targeting elderly victims. What you need to know in our Consumer Report. Plus, some graduation highlights, as well as summer camps for the young ones to consider. We'll have all of that coming up next. Innovative has made upgrades to modernize its systems recently. The telecommunications company has upgraded its equipment in Frederiksted to data over cable service interface specification, which will significantly increase transmission bandwidth and improve service to customers in the area, according to the company. If you noticed your internet speed increasing, it's because Innovative also doubled the speeds for residential and business internet customers beginning April 20th of this year. Innovative is the parent company of CBS TV2. Well, almost 200 students were certified during a ceremony Monday evening at the St. Croix Educational Complex. 190 students received industry standard certifications in 25 different areas. They're members of Complex's Career and Technical Education School's class of 2015. Shanae Carr was named the valedictorian. She was enrolled in the Nursing Tech Prep program. The salutatorian was Anel Abraham, who was enrolled in the Accounting Tech Prep program. Monday's program was the school's 20th certification ceremony. Meanwhile, All Saints would not be left behind with their 12-man strong graduating class. The ceremony was held at the cathedral on Friday. Sama Abdallah was valedictorian, who is going to UVI to major in pharmacy. The salutatorian spot was shared by 2 students, Sharim Jones and Prina Dadlani, both of whom are headed to the mainland for college.
No matter how much the school changed, the atmosphere always managed to stay upbeat and positive. Throughout everything, the faculty and students kept the Viking spirit alive, putting their heart and soul into everything they did, and they never gave up. We may be small, but our hearts are big enough for a class of 200. We're not just a graduating class, we're a family.
Congrats to the graduates. Here are a few graduation dates. Adult Education's graduation is underway. That began around 6 p.m. Central High School is scheduled for June 17th, 2:30 p.m. at the Central High Gymnasium. Educational Complex will be on June 18th, 4 p.m. at Island Center. Dignitaries from NEWS and the U.S. Virgin Islands honored Alexander Hamilton during a ceremony on Sunday. Hamilton arrived on St. Croix 250 years ago, and officials simulated his arrival by boat. Members of the Alexander Hamilton Appreciation Society talked about his achievements and the history between the places he lived.
This is very special, what's all come together here today in the spirit and honor of Alexander Hamilton, who touched all of our lives so much. We have NEWS and the St. Kitts in NEWS, where he was born in 1757 for the first 8.5 years. He came here and learned of insights about economics and again the Caribbean being such an international trade. And then from there he came to the United States and helped transform the thought and the success as he pivoted the United States from poverty to prosperity in just 3 to 5 years.
There are a number of camps on St. Croix that are still registering students for the summer. The Rising Stars Steel Orchestra Camp kicks off next week Monday and runs for about 6 weeks. It takes students ages 10 to 15. Students will learn the art of pan playing. The Montbijou Community Center is holding their annual summer camp. It features academics, modeling, graphic design, music, farming, and leather craft making. They take students ages 5 to 14 and camp starts June 29th. Well, what better way to take on a new project here in St. Thomas? Learn more about farming and agriculture. Such a rewarding experience to reap the benefits in the end. The Junior Gardening and Ecology Academy is accepting applications for their academy that runs from Monday, June 22nd until Friday, August 15th. Hours are from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Ages are 7 to 14. Free breakfast and lunch will be provided by the VI Department of Education's Summer Nutrition Program. You can contact Mario Francis at 643-4859-228-2848 or email mariofrancis@yahoo.com. With a pillowcase as the main element, instructors from the American Red Cross of the Virgin Islands trained 60 children ages 8 to 11 years from the summer camp held at Lockhart Elementary School on how to prepare for disasters. This educational program, called the Pillowcase Project, will be offered in different summer camps and other youth programs. The curriculum is structured by 3 core principles: learn, practice, and share. Children will learn about hazards, how to prepare for emergencies, and enhance coping skills. It was created in New Orleans. The Pillowcase Project was inspired by the story of local university students carrying their belongings in pillowcases during the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. A St. Jonian couple hit the jackpot after joining an essay contest and winning the keys to a historic inn in Maine, the Boston Globe reported. Prince and Rose Adams, who owned Sweet Plantains Inn on St. John for more than a decade, will be opening the centuries-old Center Lovell Inn in Maine after besting thousands of essays with their own marriage and hospitality. Center Lovell's previous owner won the establishment 22 years ago. In the same way, the couple is set to open the historic inn in July and have listed Sweet Plantains for sale. The con artists are relentless. The lure of big money is too hard to resist. It's a dangerous combination that has resulted in thousands of victims in the U.S. losing their life savings. Here's the story of one victim in our Consumer Alert.
Every letter says, "You are a winner."
Thousands of letters arrived at Agnes Farrar's home. She had 6,000 pieces of mail, to be exact, filling 4 boxes.
But I still didn't believe it. I mean, the way they're all telling me, you won, you won, you won.
Despite her gut instinct, one letter claiming she won $108 million stood out.
So initial contact is, you've won the lottery, now you have to pay us fees in order to get the money.
That was the case with this letter. So Agnes sent money. In fact, she sent hundreds of thousands of dollars, all in an effort to win the jackpot. The conmen called Agnes daily.
They will entrench themselves into your life. They'll know you personally. They'll know about your family members.
Postal inspectors say this is all part of the strategy.
They want to isolate you, become part of your inner circle, and then scam you out of your life savings.
In all, Agnes lost almost $1 million. Inspectors say there are ways to spot a foreign lottery scam solicitation.
They spell checks, C-H-E-Q-U-E. You know, so some stuff like that will be a little different. The dollar sign, which we're accustomed to, being in the front, maybe in the back.
Be sure to stick around. Your News2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.